My art name's Graceland, but I just put London on the end. And my studio, which is here, is Hackney Wick. I thought about like a different universe and a different world to this world. So I called it Graceland. Plus, my friend gave me the name, one of my really good old friends. But I'm from London, so that's why, because I work here and I do most of my art here, so I just put London at the end. But I know that I love London, but I don't want to settle here. I studied history of art, and in history of art I learned a lot about like religious paintings and symbolism in religious paintings in Italy, and like a lot of Flemish art and things like that. So that was like my love for like part of me growing up. And then from that, I basically recreated it subconsciously through like a more modern way. So I do use a lot of symbolism, but it's like mostly based around like human consumption. So like what we use to like feed our ego. They use symbolism to explain like, you know, like Christ and all the religious stories. I'm just using that concept, but putting it in a more modern way that is based on today. So I use a fried egg because it's meant to symbolize life. So like in Renaissance paintings, they use like the egg or like Christ, and it's like the beginning of life. But I use it in a more humorous way. So it's a lot more humorous than the seriousness of like historical art. Now instead of focusing on like a religious figure, we focus on like social media and our ego and what feeds us. So it's more like what's happening now than in the past. A lot of like prescription drugs in my stuff, because I know a lot of people suffer from mental health, and it's also quite a big subject in my art as well, just because I went through something similar, and it actually like pushed me like forward to make this type of art a lot more than before I went through it, if that makes sense. So it is based off mental health and self-care, but also things that can jeopardize your life. So yeah, it's like also self-sabotage. So it's just it's all a mix, but I use color to make it more of a happy subject. So people look at the color first of all and they're like, oh, it's colorful. And then they look at it properly and then they usually like, what's going on here? I'm also very influenced by like the Art Deco era, and the Art Deco era in Miami, so it's very colourful. So that's actually what has like been most obvious in my work, basically. So the reason I do a lot of it, because I do really love like the aesthetic of America, like just the look of it. I just really like, and I also feel like I do it just because London is a great place and it's my home, but the weather's not so good. And everything I walk around is like grey, and it's just always one colour and everyone's one way. Whereas when I go to America, there's a lot more like happier and sunnier aesthetics to it. So I like show that in my art, because I really prefer that way of like seeing the world instead of like seeing grey skies all the time. Very, very influenced by this Netherlands artist called Hieronymus Bosch. He's quite known. And his painting, The Garden of Earthly Delights, so it's a triptych, and he did heaven and then earth, then hell on each panel. And the hell panel is my favourite panel, like my favourite painting ever, because it's just so weird, like, and it amazes me how old, how historical it is, and he had no like internet or any type of information to go by, but he just created these weird characters. Like, if you look at it properly, you will just be confused. so that has probably influenced my work the most. The work's very seedy and it's quite sadistic. So I don't know, I try to just mirror it in my works, because if you actually look at my work, it's quite like crude. So the colour and the subject matter is meant to contrast each other. So the colours are very like playful and childlike, and then the actual subject matter is quite dark and seedy. So that's what I probably have drawn from that painting by Hieronymus Bosch. It's hell scene, basically. So if I try and make it more like friendly and like not rude, I end up making it rude because it's the base of my work, or it's like just the explicitness is just the base of my work. I work equally with paintings and digital art, and I find that my digital art has like taken off quite well just because of like social media, and it's helped me like get myself out there. I mean, I'm happy with my work being spread around, but then it does come down to like people copying it at the end of the day. So yeah, it's a bit detrimental to me as an artist because I don't know where my work's going. Blockchain art exchange just make it like really trackable and authorized, so I know my work's safe. It gives me like an opportunity to connect to other people that I might not connect to, like people who like my art and like collectors and galleries and stuff. So I'm like really happy. 100% true to themselves, like otherwise everyone would just be on one straight line. It'd just be boring.